Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Bernice Kwong from the University of Southampton, and this video is a tour of the UK Generations and Gender Survey, or GGS, and the harmonized histories that are derived from them. I'll do a brief walkthrough of the content and structure of both datasets and highlight how they can be used for event history analysis. Lastly, I'll show you where you can apply to use these fantastic datasets, which have been conducted across countries worldwide and are ready for cross-national comparison. The Generations and Gender program collects the GGS surveys, or the Generations and Gender Surveys, or GGS. This survey has run across multiple countries in 2 different rounds. The first round was conducted about 20 years ago, and the second round more recently from 2020. These data are publicly available and provide a wealth of research opportunities across social issues, family issues, and economic issues in Europe and countries around the world. Now, one of the major selling points of the GGS is the partnership information that is available. For each respondent who answers the survey, we know the number of co-residential relationships they have had and information about their current relationship if they have one. And then for all of these cohabiting relationships, there is data collected on the dates of when they began to live with this partner, when they married, if they did marry, and when they separated or divorced, if they did. We also ask how they met their partner and the number of children they had together, if they had any. Another major point of interest in the GGS is fertility history. The GGS collects data on a respondent's full fertility history, that is all the biological children they have had, when they were born, the children's sex, and whether they are living with their parents, their employment, educational status, and subjective health. Now here's how the questionnaire looks. First, the respondent answers questions about their current partner, if they have one, and when they moved in together, when they married, how many kids they have together, how they met. Now, after all that information about the current partner is collected, we move on to collecting historical information. The respondent then answers questions about previous partners, the dates of when they moved in together and or married, the number of children they may have had with any previous partner, starting from the first partnership they ever had and then moving forward in time. Now, because these relationships are indeed previous relationships, the GGS also asks, how did the relationship end? Whether they broke up or if the partner passed away, if and when there was a divorce. And then detailed information is collected about each child, one by one, and any children born outside of partnerships. So after all that, what does the data look like? Well, at first glance, it's a little bit hard to read, but here it is. These rows are individual respondents, and it is just sample example data. The top part are variables about the current partner, and the bottom part is about partner number 1. So in this top part, we first ask, do you have a current partner? Are you married? If you did get married, what year and month did you marry in? Are you living together? If you are, then when did you start living together? What year and month? Do you have children together? Yes or no? And if you do, how many? And then it goes to ask about any previous partners. Have you ever had a previous partner? If so, how many? And then from partner number 1, the first partner you ever had, and remember all these partnerships are co-residential partnerships. When did you start living together? Did you ever get married? And if you did, what year and month did you get married? And then did you have kids with this partner? And if so, how many? And what about fertility histories? Well, here's an example of what the variables for child number 1 look like for these 4 different respondents. So is child number 1 alive? What's the sex of child number 1 that you had? What year and month were they born in? Did they live with you? And then it moves on to child number 2 and asks the same questions of all children that you've had. Now, with this source GGS dataset, how do the harmonized histories fit in? Well, the harmonized histories are a data set or collection of data sets across countries that standardize the partnership and fertility history information from the GGS and then let you do cross-national study. Most of them are derived from a country's GGS, but there are also some other surveys that are used. And it's all part of the Generations and Gender program who create and post these histories as the surveys become available, and then you can apply to use them for your research. So these surveys, they're standardized across countries, and they cover birth, partnership timing, and have key demographic characteristics that are relevant to the study of family formation, like education, ethnicity, religion, parental info, country of birth. But it doesn't have all the GGS variables. It just has the standard ones that are usually used in family research. But because they have the detailed dates of all birth and partnership events, they're really great for event history analysis. So let's see what the Harmonized Histories data set looks like. And you can see that it's kind of set up in a much more tidy way that is ready to go for event history analysis. So it's meant to be very user friendly. So first it asks, what is, have you had a first partnership? Is there a union or partnership of order 1? Did that partnership separate? Did it ever marry? Did it ever convert to becoming a marriage? Did it ever divorce? And the fertility histories look very nice too. So it starts, okay, number 1, do you have a child? Do you have a first child? Have you ever given birth? Is there even a first birth in your whole life history? And it's yes or no, right? And then if you do, what year or month were they born in? What sex are they? And when did they leave home, etc. And it just goes one by one. It starts with child 1 first, if you have one or not. And then if you do, what's all the information about child 1? Okay, so finally, where do you access everything? You can download it from the Generations and Gender program. There are different data formats that are available and a description file with important information about the data set. The data sets on the GGP website combine all the available countries into one big pooled data set. So the pooled data set, the Harmonized Histories are the countries that are pooled. And then remember that each country's data is collected in slightly different survey years, which needs to be taken into account when doing research. So I hope you're able to make use of this really powerful data set that's excellent for cross-national study and really set up to do event history analysis. Thank you.